Now, originally when I was thinking in my next video, I did have Far Cry 4 in mind. It's my favorite Far Cry game, but I didn't have the game on PC and I didn't feel like buying it. But then I realized I had Far Cry 5. And once I re-downloaded that game and started playing it again, I've changed my mind. While Far Cry 4 still is my favorite Far Cry game, Far Cry 5 has reminded me that only America could top the crazy shit that has already appeared in this series. You see, while everyone has seen a video essay on how good Far Cry 5 is, I'd like to put my own spin on it. By that I just mean I want to talk about what I like and what I dislike about the game. In order for that to happen, I'm going to make this video pretty short, a little longer than my last video, but I do hope you guys enjoy, and thank you for the support on the last video. The bad. Because I love this game so much, I'm going to start with the ugly, the gross, the smelly parts of Far Cry 5. And that comes with one main problem I have with this game. The set pieces. Obviously, spoilers in this video, this game came out 5 years ago. If you haven't played it already, fucking find it. It's probably on sale, and it's probably just fucking goated. Just fucking buy it. I don't know how you want me to explain this any better. So, what do I mean about the set pieces? Well, while most Far Cry games have set missions that you go to in the open world, you find the little blip on the map, you go there, a cutscene occurs, and you start the actual game, Far Cry 5 is different. In Far Cry 5, you'll go to the person's division that you want to take on, do some side quests, blow some shit up, and then you'll raise a level bar that'll eventually end with you killing the person of said area. Now, why is this a negative? Well, because while the open world is amazing, it's beautiful, it's crazy, the events that happen are still because it's an open world. Not a lot of crazy set action moments occur. They do exist, and when they do occur, they're fucking badass. But if you had to do a ratio of how often that stuff occurs versus how often you're just driving around offing cult members and then just doing the main story, you start to see the open world taking up most of the time. That's really all the bad I can think about. Obviously, you can have your own personal problems, but I'm pretty lax when it comes to games. As long as it's fun and I can get lots of time out of it, I'm happy. And Far Cry 5 really does succeed in that. Have you ever had a three-way, son? Anyways, what do I like about Far Cry 5? Well, let's start with the story.
We are all sinners. Every one of us. You, me. Even the Father knows deeply of sin.
I remember being in like 8th grade or some shit when this game was announced, and the amount of people complaining that it was based in America was crazy. Why were they complaining? Well, Far Cry has always been about a person put to their limits. Far Cry 2 had you playing as a mercenary that gets malaria in Africa. Far Cry 3 has you playing a rich white kid who's never touched a gun in his life, turning into the monster he swore to destroy through the hell he was put through. Or should I say, forced through. And Far Cry 4, well, that had you playing a seemingly normal person that was forced into conflict between 3 sides, each with their own problems. Far Cry 5, well, you're just kind of some sheriff in some random town in Montana that was sent to investigate a cult that was taking it over. Now, obviously, Far Cry 5 has that crazy twist at the end that I'm not going to spoil. It's probably one of the craziest twists of any Far Cry games. Hell, I'd say any game of that year had no twist even close to that Far Cry 5 ending. But the overall story of the game is pretty standard, other than the obligatory Far Cry drug scene.
We all need guidance in times like these.
So we must be strong. We must be vigilant.
Now you'll see. Now you'll truly understand.
Because those...
I'm going to split this section into 2 bits, single player and multiplayer, for obvious reasons, because obviously multiplayer exists in its own vacuum where multiplayer is just going to have way more funny shit happening because you're playing with another goofball. Anyways, let's start with the single player. Far Cry 5 single player is really good. While it's not as cutscene heavy and doesn't have as many crazy missions as the previous games, what it lacks for in that, it's brought back in the crazy amounts of world building in the game. The side missions are so full of life too, and the funny political messages that this game throws at you are the true American experience. Remember that this game was probably in development around the time of Trump versus Hillary, which means that a lot of the humor reflects on that. If you listen to the radio long enough, or just some random people walking down the street, you'll eventually just start hearing them preaching their political views for no reason.
If them Obama-loving libtards find out I can't look after my own property, I can kiss this Senate run goodbye.
Now, the Far Cry 5 experience is kind of like a lot of other Far Cry games. Crazy shit happens quite often. A cult member will walk up to you and start attacking you for some reason. A bear will come out and fucking eat your face off, or you'll get drugged. If you don't like any of that, I do recommend that you go find a different game, because it is Far Cry and you know what you're getting out of the Far Cry experience. It's still good, but it does have its flaws in that if you don't like the formula, you don't like the game, which is completely fine. That if you don't like that formula, you don't have to play the game. Did I mention that you'll just watch people get attacked for no reason? This shit is hilarious.
We tried to tell this Skylar girl to get out of here, but she says she won't leave without...
The multiplayer for Far Cry 5 is golden. It's fun. It's exciting shit. I've never really played the multiplayer for Far Cry 4 or Far Cry 3. In such, playing with my buddy was a new experience. It was crazy. Walking to the woods, finding a bear that will eventually lead to your buddy just getting mauled alive is the funniest shit. Now, it's hard to explain how goofy it is, so I'll just show you some clips and you guys can talk about it by yourselves. No! You know, my girlfriend left me.
No, bro, no. No, bro, no. No, no, bro, no! No, bro!
She said she loved me.
Oh, God. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God! Alright, I'm gonna go down there to fish real quick. Huh?
You know how it be. I got you.
Huh. Let me know if you see a... I won't have fucking honey badger skin. Thank you.
It's Wolverine. Let me get his homie. Let me get his homie. I got him. I got him. I got his other homie. Watch this. Yeet. Ah, good times. Anyways, do you guys like music? The final thing I want to talk about is the music. How is the music for Far Cry 5? There's only one word to describe it. Legendary. Like, I literally mean that this game will go down in history with having one of the best soundtracks known to man. It's iconic, it fits the game down to the T, and just generally sounds good. Like, I could listen to this outside of the game. Now, obviously, I don't like country music, but in the game's context, this music is goated. I'm not gonna play too much of it because you know how game companies love to bully small content creators by copyright claiming their videos. If you want to hear the full soundtrack for the game, it's on YouTube, and it will blow you away. If you don't want to be spoiled by it, go play the game. Now, not only does it fit the game, but the way it's placed into the game is so smart. You'll not only hear it on radios, but you'll hear it in the car. You'll hear it being played by cultists. You'll be hearing just people singing it. Did I mention that these songs are meant to brainwash you? This game has a soundtrack that I will die on the hill and say it's one of the best soundtracks of any single player first person shooter ever. If you disagree, you can yell at me in the comments and then join my Discord. Far Cry 5 is far from a perfect game. That's like a lot of games. There's no perfect game. But this game is fun, and what it does right, it does well. This game took a dry formula, it lubed it up, and forced the game out in just a way to hit the right spot. Love or hate the Far Cry series, it doesn't matter, because this game is good, and that's the end of my video.